Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new Pokemon TCG video. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Primal Clash Eelektross in the expanded format just because it seems to work much better as opposed to the standard format. The whole sort of premises of this deck is number one, Eelektross is going to be the main sort of supporter Pokemon. We'll be using its Energy Connect ability to manipulate the basic energies from our bench Pokemon and then sort of fix them in such an ideal way that our active Pokemon can try and perform those massive one-hit EX knockouts. So which Pokemon am I actually referring to? Well, the main attacker of our deck is going to be the Ho-Oh EX with the Rebirth ability, allowing us to essentially flip a coin, and if we happen to get a head, we're able to retreat the Ho-Oh EX in combination with up to 3 different types of energy cards from our discard pile and then attach them to this Pokemon. The one sort of drawback to this is that the energy cards have to be different and they have to be basic types of energy, so that is something to keep in mind. Rainbow Burn has sort of the same drawback in that it's only able to attack and increase the total damage output provided that those energies be different sorts of basic energy. So Rainbow Energy, for example, would not allow the Ho-Oh EX to dish out additional amounts of damage. So given the fact that Ho-Oh EX is going to be the main attacker of our deck, the card that seems very intuitive to run with it is the Battle Compressor. Allows us to search our deck for up to 3 cards and then discard them. Battle Compressor is by far one of the most important cards of our deck. Really allows our deck to get set up nice and early. So we are running a total of 4 copies of the Battle Compressor card. Now, Keldeo EX also works incredibly well with this deck just because, for example, if we have a Float Stone attached to our Keldeo EX, we can rush in and then retreat and bring out another one of our bench Pokemon. The advantage of this is, of course, that when Keldeo EX rushes in, we can manipulate the energies and then stack them onto our Keldeo EX. Then we can go right ahead and max potion off the damage to our active Pokemon that we had initially retreated, for example, to bring out the Keldeo EX, and then we can go right ahead and bring out the Ho-Oh EX, for example. Once again, manipulate the energies so that the Ho-Oh EX can then, number one, be put back to completely full HP, and then number 2, to be able to hit for a whole lot of damage. So very cool strategy. We are running a total of 2 copies of the Max Potion, and the very last Pokemon that is going to be in our deck is going to be the Mr. Mime with the Bench Barrier ability, just allowing us to negate any damage done to our bench Pokemon. So just another very nice Pokemon, given the fact that we are running the Tynamo with a mere 40 HP, can get knocked out relatively easily by Pokemon such as the Landorus EX. Absolutely something that we don't want to happen, hence why we are running the Mr. Mime. So we are running a total of 3 copies of the Tynamo and 1 copy of the Electric and 3 copies of the Eelektross. Now, discussing the some other cards that we are running in our deck is relatively self-explanatory, so I'll just be focusing on the cards that I feel are worth mentioning. 3 Rare Candies, of course. You guys know the main function of this card in that it allows us to evolve our Pokemon from the Tynamo into the the Eelektross nice and early so that we can skip the whole electric phase. So very nice card. We are running 3 copies of it. Our A-Spec card is going to be the Computer Search card. Given the fact that our deck is a very speedy deck, we usually tend to start attacking by turn 3 or 4. And during those turns, what I mean by attacking is that attacking for enough damage that we're able to perform massive one-hit EX knockouts. So this deck gets going incredibly quickly. Computer Search is a very nice card, again, just to allow us to sort of speed up the whole process of our deck kickstarting into gear, hence why we are running it as our A-Spec card. Some other cards that we're running, guys, the 2 copies of the Tool Scrapper, just to allow us to get rid of Tool type attachments, namely speaking against Garbodor type decks, just so that our special abilities are not nullified. The Stadium card I briefly want to discuss is going to be the Tropical Beach. Initially, I hadn't really wanted to run a high count of Stadium cards, but Silent Lab completely shuts our deck down. Tropical Beach is just nice because it, number 1, gets rid of Silent Lab to allow us to use our Pokemon special abilities all over again, and second, it helps with setting up our deck that much earlier. So another very nice card. We are running it as our Stadium card, and we are running a total of 3 copies of it. Now, the other cards in our deck are very self-explanatory, so we're running a total of 3 Ultra Balls, 2 VS Seekers, a single Colress, 1 Lysander, 4 Junipers, and 4 Ants. We're also running 2 Float Stones, of course, to be used in combination with our Keldeo EX, 2 Muscle Bands to increase the total damage output, and a whole host of different energy cards, of course, because our Ho-Oh EX is able to dish out additional amounts of damage. Now, as you guys can see, we're running a single count of every single one of the the energy cards, except with two sorts of exceptions. Number one, the water energy. This is because the Caldeo EX is going to be used sometimes to try and dish out additional amounts of damage. So we do want the water energies just because the Caldeo EX can hit for an additional 20 damage per water energy actually attached to it. So 2 water energies I felt was pretty nice, and the lightning energies are to be used in combination with our Eelektross in case we happen to face a Pyro type deck, because this is our only anti-Pyro or really anti-Safeguard type Pokemon. Luckily, Electric Cannon is able to hit for a massive 130 damage, provided that we discard all Lightning Energy cards attached to our Eelektross into the discard pile. So actually pretty nice Pokemon, has a relatively solid attack, so we are going to be running a total of 3 Lightning Energies in case one happens to be prized, for example. So that is pretty much our deck breakdown, guys. So with that, let's go and see what this deck can do. I have to say that this deck's performance has been absolutely amazing right now. I mean, again, just by like turn 3 or 4, our deck is usually kickstarted into gear and we're able to hit for massive amounts of damage. The most troubling decks that we can of course encounter are decks that run Silent Labs or Garbodors and possibly Seismitoad EXs as well, just because it prevents us from using our cards such as the Battle Compressor, and Seismitoad EX is of course a water type Pokemon. Since we do have the Ho-Oh EX, Seismitoad EX would indeed be able to hit us for double the amount of damage. So again, sort of the most menacing types of decks we could face, but aside from that, our deck seems to perform very well against the vast majority of other types of decks. One more sort of exception to this is that the Yveltal EX, given the fact that our Ho-Oh EXs tend to have a whole lot of energy cards attached to them, Yveltal EX can also hit us for a whole ton of damage. So it looks like it's just taking a bit of time for us to find ourselves an opponent. Not sure if fewer players probably play in the expanded format, but expanded format is a very nice sort of format. Okay, so it looks like we are facing a rock, lightning, and darkness type deck. I'm not really sure what that's going to be, but given the fact that there is a darkness Pokemon, I'm assuming it's probably going to be a deck revolving around Yveltal EX. Again, though, I can't really come to a conclusion just yet. Okay, so it looks like the lightning Pokemon is going to be Zekrom, so chances are it is indeed going to be an Yveltal EX deck. So let's go and use the Battle Compressor first, discard one of our Ho-Oh EXs into the discard pile in combination with 2 energy cards. So okay, one Ho-Oh EX. Hold on, I'm not sure how many Ho-Oh EXs I saw. Okay, so that's 2 Ho-Oh EXs. And okay, so 2 of our Ho-Oh EXs actually happen to be prized, so that's a little bit unfortunate, but shouldn't be too big of an issue. So let's go ahead and use the N for some new cards in our hand. Use Battle Compressor once again to grid another one of our Ho-Oh EXs into the discard pile. So there we go, and then as well 2 more energy cards, so Lightning Energy and a Fairy type energy. Okay, so I will be discarding the okay, so I do want to grab onto the Caldeo EX and then lay a Float Stone to him as well, but I think we're gonna save that for later. So let's actually go and use the computer search to discard. Actually, no, wait, we definitely need another Pokemon, otherwise I will potentially lose this turn, which is absolutely something that I don't want. So let's actually first use the Ho-Oh EX's Rebirth ability just to see if we are at least able to grab one of them back into the field. Awesome, looks like we are, so should be relatively safe for us to use the computer search and actually grab onto one of our tropical beaches. So let's go and use computer search, discard the Ultra Ball and the Metal Energy. Actually, can I attach it? Yeah, I could attach the Metal Energy, but yeah, you know what, let's go right ahead and actually attach it anyway. So let's actually go and use computer search, discard the Ultra Ball and the Float Stone to grab onto the tropical beach, again just so that we can hopefully get our strategy going by turn 2. So let's go and use the tropical beach and get some new cards in our hand. So we do have the Caldeo EX. Unfortunately, I did discard the Float Stone, however we have one more in our deck. I felt like this was definitely worth it though, in my opinion. Our opponent is going to bring out the Fanfi, hit us for 20 damage. Tynamo almost getting knocked out, but luckily it is able to survive. So let's go and lay down the Caldeo EX for now. Lay down another one of our Tynamos, and then I will be evolving the Tynamo into the Electric. How many? Actually, it has 2 retreat costs. Yeah, so let's actually temporarily rush in with the Caldeo EX. We'll be bringing out the Electric as well. So I actually had discarded a lightning energy in particular just because I wanted to be able to use Electric's Dynamotor ability to load up our bench Pokemon. So okay, so I'm just seeing what I would like to do. So I will absolutely be using the N, but not really sure who I would like to attach the water energy to. So I guess for now, let's go and actually attach it to our Keldeo EX, just for the time being. And then I will go right ahead and use the N for some new cards in our hand. Okay, so we do have another Dynamo in our hand. Don't really think we're gonna need to lay it down. And the Battle Compressor, so I will be getting a couple more of our energy cards into our discard pile, just so that we can ideally get the Rebirth with a couple more energy cards attached to our Ho-Ho EX. So let's go first of all and use Dynamotor to look for the lightning energy and attach it to our Electric for now, because we don't have the energy manipulation just yet. Yeah, so let's go and actually use the Rebirth, hope for a Heads. Unfortunately, we are going to get a Tails. Don't really think Mr. Mime is going to be necessary, so let's go and actually lay down the Dynamo, and then I will be using the Tropical Beach for some new cards in our hand. Okay, so we do have a Mr. Mime again. Don't really think it's going to be a necessary Pokemon. Absolutely do want to save another one of our slots for the Ho-Ho EX. Our opponent's going to grab onto the Landorus EX and another card that unfortunately has not buffered yet. Unfortunately, I can't see what it is. Okay, so probably the Switch, maybe, or the Strong Energy again. Not entirely sure. Our opponent, so Mr. Mime may actually be quite useful right now, but I do want to save that slot again for our Ho-Ho EX, so I'm just going to go and max potion off that Dynamo. I know a mere 30 HP, but nonetheless I think that it is the way to go. So let's go and first of all use the Ho-Ho EX's Rebirth ability. Finally we are able to get a Head, so let's go and revive him and then lay him into the field. So we'll be attaching a Darkness Energy to our Keldeo EX for now, because I could potentially retreat him just to start dishing out a bit of damage to our opponent's Landorus EX. Hopefully I can actually attack with our Keldeo EX though if I'm able to get the energy manipulation. So let's go and use the N. Hope that awesome. Looks like we are going to get the Eelektross. I do have a rare candy in our hand as well. But I'm not sure if I'd like to. Yeah, you know what? Let's actually use the rare candy, because I can easily evolve the Electric afterwards. So let's go and bring out the Eelektross, and now our Keldeo EX. I would need another water energy, so Keldeo EX can knock out our opponent's Landorus EX, so that is what I'm going to go and do. So let's go and use Energy Connect. Don't foresee our Keldeo EX is actually getting knocked out during our next turn, so let's go and hit for a massive 180 damage, and then draw onto 2 of our prize cards. Awesome, so it looks like we have it drawn onto another one of our Ho-Ho EXs, and another rare candy as well we do have in our hand, so hopefully we can grab onto another one of our Eelektrosses and then again just start dishing out a whole ton of damage. So I am hoping for the Float Stone as well. Do want to be able to knock out our opponent's Zekrom on our next turn. It's only going to be able to hit us for 20 damage though, so not really a threatening Pokemon by any means. And luckily I do have the Electric as well with Dynamotor, so if I wanted to, I could manipulate the energies and then retreat our Keldeo EX by discarding those lightning energies, which I could then retreat using the Electric with the Dynamotor. My apologies for not actually having mentioned him, but he is nonetheless a very important Pokemon. So we do have a bunch of Ns. Don't want to be using the Juniper actually, and may help out our opponent as well. But I think I'm actually going to go right ahead and use it regardless. So let's go and use the N. Hope that we're able to draw onto something nice. Okay, so we do have the Float Stone, so that is quite awesome. So let's go and actually attach that to our Keldeo EX and then knock out our opponent's Zekrom using one of our Ho-Ho EXs. So now currently our Ho-Ho EX is able to hit for 120 damage. So we'll go right ahead and retreat it, bring out our Ho-Ho EX, use Energy Connect to bring a water energy to our Ho-Ho EX for the time being. Let's go and hit for a massive 140 damage and then draw onto one of our prize cards. So as you guys can see, this deck is very impressive, and we are able to account for sorts of a whole host of different types of matchups. Again, with the most troubling really being the Seismitoad EX type deck. Okay, so our opponent does have the Yveltal EX, currently able to hit for 120, 140 damage, 160 if I attach a Muscle Band to him, manipulate the energies, and then I will be able to knock out our opponent's Yveltal EX. So let's go and actually bring out another one of our Eelektrosses, use the Energy Connect, and then bring a Darkness Energy. So that's 7 energies. Again, just making sure that I have done the math correctly. Yeah, so that should be enough. These are all different types of energies, so let's go and use the Lysander and then knock out our opponent Yveltal EX, and then draw onto 2 more of our prize cards. Our opponent, very unfortunate, hasn't been able to draw onto a single one of their prize cards, guys. Just showing you guys how menacing of a deck this can actually be. Don't think we'll be able to survive on our next, we'll be able to win on our next turn, just because our opponent's probably going to bring out, one of his robo substitutes. Okay, so let's go and actually use the Colress for the time being. Okay, so I do have the Max Potion, and I also have a Rare Candy and another Eelektross. So now our Eelektrosses are fully loaded up, so there's absolutely no way that we can really sort of lose. So let's go and actually rush in with the Keldeo EX, and then I will be manipulating a few energy cards from our Ho-Ho EX and loading them up to our Keldeo EX just as sort of safekeeping for the time being. And then I'm going to go and retreat the Keldeo EX to bring out one of our benched Ho-Ho EXs. Use Energy Connect again to move another energy card to our Ho-Ho EX. And then let's go right ahead and knock out our opponent's Robo Substitute. Don't want to be using the Max Potion just yet. I feel like we may need to use it a little bit later on. Our opponent's going to have to be very careful from this point out, because a single knockout and I will be able to take the game. So our opponent's going to have to repeatedly switch into his robo substitutes and just hope that he can sort of live from here on out. He's only hitting us for 40 damage though, so not really menacing by any means. Okay, I think we're just going to go and attack, guys, and with that we are going to go and end our turn. Don't think that using a Juniper would be all that wise of an option. We should be able to win this turn, guys, unless our opponent happens to do something absolutely incredible. I mean, his Lucario EX would not be able to knock us out, and we're easily able to hit over 180 damage. Bringing out the Raichu was certainly the wisest choice, just because it has no retreat cost. So opponent's actually going to Lysander out our Keldeo EX and possibly knock it out. But I should still be able to win. Okay, so yeah, it looks like we are going to indeed be able to win, guys. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. A very competitive deck. Thank you guys very much for watching. And if you guys did enjoy this video, please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. And I will see you guys next time.